Welcome to today's episode on the GCP-Mindset channel. Today, we're diving into a topic that's rarely discussed outside of expert circles, but plays a pivotal role in the success or failure of clinical research: sponsorship as a service.
Welcome to the GCP-Mindset channel and all topics on clinical research.
Clinical trials have always been complex, but in recent years, the landscape has shifted dramatically. New regulations like the EU Clinical Trials Regulation, the Medical Device Regulation, and the In Vitro Diagnostic Regulation have raised the bar for compliance, documentation, and legal responsibility. And this wave of regulatory evolution has made it harder than ever for small companies and investigators to actually sponsor their own trials. That's where sponsorship as a service comes in, a concept that's helping important studies happen that otherwise might never get off the ground. First, let's break down a common misconception. Many people think that being a sponsor just means you're the one who pays the bills. But in clinical research, the role of the sponsor goes far beyond funding. The sponsor is the individual, company, or institution that takes legal and regulatory responsibility for the entire clinical trial. That includes everything from patient safety to compliance with local and international laws, to making sure the protocol is followed and that the data collected is accurate and reliable. Yes, you can technically be a single-person sponsor, but you must be capable of meeting all these responsibilities, and that's a tall order. It might surprise you to hear this, but in clinical research, taking responsibility is often harder than providing money. When you're the sponsor, you're on the hook for ensuring the trial is run ethically, legally, and successfully, even if you're not the one physically conducting each task. There's real pressure in that. As a sponsor, you're expected to set up oversight structures, control quality, and deal with issues if they arise. Compare that to simply providing funding and expecting updates. It's a whole different level of involvement. Now, let's talk about who really benefits from sponsorship as a service. There are two main groups. The first is investigators, university-based researchers or clinicians who have promising ideas for studies, often involving new applications of approved medications or devices. In the past, these investigator-initiated trials, or IITs, were quite common. But as regulations have become stricter, universities and hospitals are more reluctant to assume the legal burden of sponsorship. Even if the funding is there, they may lack the compliance systems to take the lead. The second group is small companies and startups, especially in biotech and medtech. They might have a great product, a brilliant innovation, and even the money to fund a trial, but they don't yet have the internal systems or manpower to navigate the sponsorship responsibilities. For them, SPaaS provides a much-needed bridge. So what does sponsorship as a service actually involve? SPaaS means that a qualified service provider, like GCP service, takes over the legal sponsorship of the clinical trial. That includes oversight of trial setup and protocol review, managing regulatory submissions and ethics approvals, ensuring sites follow good clinical practice, monitoring data integrity and study progress, communicating with authorities and stakeholders. What's important? SPaaS providers don't claim your IP or publication rights. Those remain entirely with the client. Of course, handing over sponsorship isn't something you do lightly. For many companies and investigators, their study is like their baby. Trusting another party with that kind of responsibility is a major step, and it doesn't happen overnight. That's why trust building is a core part of the SPaaS process. It's about open communication, regular updates, and shared expectations. This isn't a set it and forget it model. Instead, it's like hiring a reliable babysitter. You don't want just anyone. You want someone who not only knows the rules, but who understands what matters most to you. So how do you know if sponsorship as a service might be right for your project? Here are 3 questions to ask yourself. 1. Do you or your team have enough time to take on the full oversight of a trial? 2. Do you have the expertise to meet regulatory requirements and maintain oversight? 3. Is your quality management system compliant and audit ready? If the answer to any of those is no, or even I'm not sure, then SPaaS might be a smart, risk-reducing option. And for academic investigators, there's a 4th question. Do you have institutional legal backing to act as sponsor? Or are you prepared to wait 12 to 18 months for legal review before your trial can even start? For many, the answer is clear. Outsourcing sponsorship isn't about losing control. It's about making the trial happen in the first place. At the end of the day, SPaaS exists to enable clinical trials that would otherwise never happen. Whether it's a professor with a brilliant research idea or a small company that's trying to change the world with a new device, sponsorship as a service creates a path forward. It's not just about ticking regulatory boxes. It's about making sure valuable research sees the light of day and ultimately about ensuring that patients benefit from innovations that would otherwise be stuck in limbo. Thank you for watching our video, and we hope that you found it informative. Don't forget to like and subscribe to our channel for more content on clinical research.